Hey there, Minute Maintenance fan, Smith coming at you today. We're going to work on the Ford F-150 2013. We got a bunch of lights going off. It's going to be a very simple fix, but when I first saw these lights going off, I thought the worst, but it turns out all I'm dealing with is a bit of a biter. So stick with me, got to get some maintenance done. Alright guys, before us we have my 2013 Ford F-150 based on the Lariat package with the Raptor motor on the inside, the 6.2 liter, plus a 6-inch lift on it, 32-inch tires. This thing is a bad mamma jamma. Now when I got my vehicle today, because I need to go pick up some parts for the expedition, I was working on the opposite wheel bearing. Now you guys saw me change the drive side wheel bearing due to that accident, but I figured, it's got 250,000 miles on it. I've actually never changed wheel bearings on that side. Let's go ahead and take care of the passenger side. When I got in my pickup truck today to drive this to the shop, this is what I saw. Truck starts right up. Whoop. But then I have these lights on the dash. My brake system's freaking out. My ABS light is on. Shh, quiet radio, no talking. Yeah, hush up. Nobody cares. Sorry about that. Rude Alexa voice. It says my advanced track is off. It says my traction control's throwing a fit, my brakes throwing a fit, my ABS is throwing a fit. I'm like, what the heck is going on? How can both my vehicles be braking on me at the same time? Don't do it to me, Ford. Don't do me dirty. It's getting a little cold to be riding the motorcycle, but you gotta do what you gotta do if you have to. So I started hopping on Google, which is what everybody's gonna do when they see an issue going on, and I started seeing all sorts of different things, such as seeing things saying that my master cylinder was going out, my brake fluid was low somewhere, I had a bad brake caliper somewhere, that I was going to have to reset the whole computer because the computer's throwing a fit and it's not being able to read everything completely. I'm like, oh man, come on, how can this be happening to me? I don't have time to deal with this. So I start thinking, I'm like, okay, Smith, slow it down. The difference between your average at-home mechanic and somebody who gets it done is they take time to think and to properly diagnose what a problem might be. So I have a couple solutions that I found out online as far as, hey, maybe it's a computer related issue. Should I just disconnect the negative battery and reset everything? But I got to think to myself, okay, Smith, slow it down. It's saying there's a brake light. It's saying there's a speed light. It's saying there's a traction control light. Let's crawl underneath and see what we can see. Is there any fluid leaking anywhere? Man, I already got dirt on me from working on my other vehicle. Is there any fluid leaking anywhere? Is there any issues going on? And guess what Daddy found? Making my way to the back of my truck to crawl underneath, I saw my puppy laying underneath here. Cute little Samson. He's inside the kennel right now. Do you know why he's inside the kennel? Because that Jagaloon decided that he was going to chew the wiring for my speed sensor. So he not only did he do it on the passenger side there, he also did it there on the driver's side. The wiring is chewed up and broken. And it's as simple as that. I just need new speed sensors. So thankfully the local shop had some in town. So let's go ahead and swap those suckers out. Not too difficult of a job. Should be a 5-minute video for you guys today, but it's not the point. Puppy, I bring you into this world. I feed you. I give you somewhere to live. I give you treats. I rub your belly and you repay me by hanging out under my truck, which I can't blame you when it rains. It's 6 inches off the ground, nice little shelter, and it looks cool. Plus it's a Ford, why not, guys? And then you repay me by chewing on the life force of my truck. Not cool, bro. Not cool. So to get this job done, we're going to need our new replacement ABS speed sensor. We're going to need a socket wrench, wire cutters to cut off the clips that hold the original sensor in place, some zip ties so we can re-secure it in case we can't utilize the original clips, and more importantly to re-secure it better, because obviously my puppy saw it dangling at some section of it and decided he wanted to chew on it. And then 10mm socket to remove the actual sensor from where it's connected on the back of the wheel hub. So nothing to it but to do it. Let's get wrenching. The devil himself. There he is right there, Shadow, the chewer. Luna, bite him in the butt for me. All right, so step one, when we come in from the back side here, we actually go to the front of the wheel bearing assembly. Let's get around this axle here. Let's take a good look here. We are looking for this guy right here. Get the light on. Right here. When this wire comes in, that just takes a 10mm socket, which holds that in place. So go ahead and set that cat on there, and then set our wrench to lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Alright guys, go ahead and loosen that cat up, and then you can finish it off by hand and pop that sensor right out of there. Let's go ahead and come around this angle so you guys can kind of see what's going on here. Unfortunately, my battery's at 2% because, like I said, I was working on my expedition, and so I was listening to a nice little podcast while I was doing that, because nothing helps make working on mechanical work a lot better than listening to something interesting like a podcast. So once that bolt comes out like so, the speed sensor itself, just go ahead and pull it right out, and there you go. Now you start tracing all the wires all the way back, where eventually you find that they connect right up here by the spare. Now there's two different speed sensors that connect right up here on this bracket. You can see this is the one I want on the driver's side, then there's one on the passenger side. We're going to have to disconnect them both. I already disconnected this one earlier, but I'll show you how to disconnect the other one. What you do is, you see that red tab that's up there? Whoops. This red tab right here, what you want to do is take a flathead screwdriver, okay, or your thumb if you're strong enough, but most likely you need a flathead screwdriver, and you're going to pull that red tab till it pops up, like I did on this one here, on this black one. I used a flathead screwdriver, and I was able to pull that red tab up, and then on the inside, there's this little button, a little small black button, right underneath that red tab. You push it in, and then you pull it apart. And it's that simple. Then you literally just trace, connect it in there with a zip tie. The wire comes down here, and it would have connected in here, but the pressure clip, you just pull it in, and you just disconnect it along your way. And that's where the wire cutters come in handy. There we go. That section's already chewed in half. I come down here, follow it the rest of the way, disconnect it there. Oh, we got this bracket here, disconnect it there, and then disconnect it from right there at the very top. Now the old one's out. All we do is install the other one. It's the exact reverse. All right, and then for the new one, reroute it the same direction. So I went ahead and did the exact opposite. I pushed the new one into place, and I pushed the red tab inward, securing it in place. This flat blade here will connect into that hole there, just like the original one had before I had pulled it out. Just take that, push it down in there, and then there's other plastic push pin grommet goes in there to help secure that wire in place. Now as you're going, if you notice any spots that are loose, the exhaust is right here, guys. All right, it already has this protective sheathing, and as you can see, some of the original wiring and hosing likes to push up against the exhaust. I'm not a big fan about that, so I'm probably gonna take some zip ties, and I suggest you guys do the same and mount it maybe through another hole in the frame somewhere, just to pull it away from the exhaust, just to give yourself a little bit of added protection. But then all I'm going to do is continue to go through and reconnect into all the old connecting bushings that it will connect into. And if it doesn't connect into it, or I feel like I have too much slack, then what I will do is use my handy dandy zip ties to help secure it even further. There we go. Trying to follow the same route, managing to not go anywhere that the other one hadn't, so I don't end up in any heat spots or pinch points from the suspension moving or the wheel turning. Okay, then I'm going to push that guy back down in there, if it'll let me, which it should, because I'm awesome. And then we take our speed sensor and we bolt it back in. All right, guys, hopefully you can see what's going on here. I got my new speed sensor, and I'm just going to push it into the hole where the old one was. And the install is the exact reverse. Take the same 10mm bolt that was holding in the original one. You screw it in hand tight first, and then you come in with your socket wrench to finish it off, and you're good to go. All right, guys, moment of truth. We got those swappers. We got those sensors swapped out. Now, if you're looking around the outside, today is a different day. Not gonna lie to you. Today is the following day because my battery died on me on my cell phone, because again, I was working on another vehicle and I was listening to the podcast. Battery was at 4% when I realized what was going on with my pickup. By the time I went to get the sensor so that I need to replace it, I didn't have a chance to charge my phone. I started filming right away so I get the truck fixed, because I generally don't fix stuff without filming stuff, so I have content for you guys, the sacrifices I make for you guys. You know, the amount of texts, the amount of DMs I could have had, the YouTube people I could have responded to, I sacrificed that for you. So I hope you guys appreciate it by hitting that like button, subscribing, all that good stuff. But moment of truth, today's the next day. Let's go ahead and fire up the truck and see if our codes are gone. Let's go ahead and start her up. And before, the traction control light was on, the ABS light was on, the brake light was on, and now standard startup. The only sensor on is the seatbelt, because I'm sitting in my driveway not wearing my seatbelt. Just got my old tactical pack going. Yeah, I rock a tactical pack. I got a tactical pack. That's all right. I'm a rad dad. It says right on my shirt. It says right on my pack. Kids got it for me, so it must be true, right? If they have merchandise to go with it, it must be true. So there we go, guys. That's all it was. I had the chewer, I had my new puppy Shadow hiding underneath my pickup truck, which is fine. I get it when it rains outside. It's easy shelter for them. When I'm not paying attention, let them back inside the house. They get bored. He's a puppy. He starts chewing. So what I did was I replaced those sensors. I didn't start throwing the book at this. I didn't start freaking out like I initially did. I did some research, thought the process through, and I went to each wheel, found the sensors that were bad, swapped those out, re-secured them, and a zip tied in a much better way so they're not going to be dangling loose anymore. You know, just shiny, sparkling in the puppy's eye from the chew on him, and I'm going to keep a better eye on him, make sure he doesn't do that again. So guys, I hope this video is helpful for you. As always, hit that like button, please subscribe, drop any comments, questions you guys have below, and I hope you guys take a minute out of your own day to do some maintenance. We'll catch you next time.